Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be cutting my hair. I feel like it's just getting a bit long, it's starting to look a bit limp and shapeless. So I just wanted to do something fun. I want to take off a fair amount of the length and just like a lot of layers. A lot of face framing. I want to like reshape my daisy fringe, all of that. So yeah, I feel like it's going to be quite like a 90s look. Sort of similar to Rachel Green's hair in Friends, that's the style that I'm going for. But yeah, with that being said, I'm sure you just want to see how I cut my hair, so let's just jump right into this video. Okay, so in terms of the sectioning, what I'm going to do first of all is take a middle parting, so all the way from my forehead down to my neck, and just try and make that as neat as you can. And then from the crown of my head, I'm going to take my parting down to behind my ears. So I've got 4 quadrants for my sections, and I'm going to be starting at the back of my head. So then I just wrap up the sections at the front and clip them in place so that they're out of the way and I don't accidentally get them muddled up with the hair at the back. I didn't really show this on camera very well, so I apologise, but so in terms of the sectioning at the back of the head, in a little bit more detail, from my middle parting that I've got at the back, I'm just going to take pretty horizontal slices from the parting to sort of like behind my ear, and then I'm just going to move up and up and up section by section, introducing more of the hair from that top layer as I go. I say pretty horizontal because I do it on a slight angle, so the parting being the highest point, and then it's sort of like a diagonal forward section that I take to the nape of my neck just behind my ears, and then I continue upwards on that same angle. Okay, so then I'm just going to brush all of the hair forward from that section. So the hair that's from the middle of my head, so right touching the parting, that's going to be travelling the furthest distance because it's further away from the front of my hair. Then obviously the hair that's right behind my ears. So when I'm cutting, I'm going to keep that in mind, because if I cut it completely straight, I'm going to have a very, very dramatic V-shape haircut at the back of my head, which I like a V-shape haircut. I don't mind if it's going to be a little bit kind of oval at the end, at the back, but I don't want it to be a dramatic point at the back of my head. So when I pull it forwards, I'm actually angling my fingers slightly forwards, and keeping the hair towards the side of my head slightly longer than the hair at the back of my head. When I put that hair behind my shoulders again, it's just going to kind of soften that angle. So that's a really important thing to remember, that you want to be slightly angling your fingers towards the floor as you take the cut. So you will feel like you're cutting more from the back of your head than you are from the sides of your head, but that's how you want to feel. If you want to minimise that V. If you don't, if you like the V-shape cut, then just cut it in a straight line and you'll get a V-shape. And of course, when you come around to doing the sides, be mindful of the angle that you've taken with your fingers, so that it matches on both sides. You don't want to have one side more of an angular V-shape than the other side, because your fingers are not even, if that makes sense. I really hope I'm explaining that well. Hopefully you can see in the video what I mean by that. So yeah, then I'm just moving up section by section. Here I do show you like what I mean by the angle. I should have done that first of all, but it only occurred to me halfway through the video that you obviously need to see that. But yeah, so I'm just brushing the hair down, and you'll see like I'm combing it so many times. I want it to be as smooth and even as possible. I just want to make sure that it's exactly smooth. There are no kinks, there are no bumps, and only once I've got it completely smooth will I do that. How thick your hair is will determine how many sections you need to take at the back of your head. I would say that my hair is quite thick, so I do need to go in with quite a few sections, just because otherwise I'll never get the scissors through it, and it will just turn out really disgusting. I don't know if you've ever seen somebody's haircut where it looks like the top layer, so the outer layer of the hair is slightly shorter than the hair underneath it at the like on the inside layer of their hair, but it's not layered, it's just a bad cut and it looks not good. Basically that's what I'm trying to avoid by doing sections. So if you've got thinner hair, you may only need to do sort of like 2 sections. I can't remember if I did 3 or 4. And then now I'm just coming around to the front of my hair and combing that out. You can see my hair's already so layered around the front, so I'm not going to have to do loads to the front of my hair because I have not too long ago actually layered it again. But all I'm going to do is I'm just going to include some of the hair from the back of my head as my guide so that I know at what length I need to cut the hair at the side of my head. And then you'll see like I'm really directing my fingers diagonally forward so that the longest point is right at the front of my face. And that just means that when I push it all behind my shoulders, as I say, the V will just be a lot less dramatic. And also it just sits a little bit nicer when you do this. So yeah, again, just nice and diagonally forward. This, I would say, like, this whole, like, angling your fingers diagonally forwards is a big tip. Something that, like, you might not know if you're not a hairdresser, and I think that's kind of the telltale in when people cut their own hair. It always tends to kick up a little bit shorter at the front than what they're expecting. And then just for the face framing at the front of my face, as I said, I did this not too long ago, so I'm just kind of going over what's already there to get rid of some of the split ends. But basically I'm just angling my scissors downwards and kind of holding the hair in place with my fingers and then angling my scissors downwards on a diagonal angle and just cutting along that hairline. The key is the angle of your scissors, you want them to be basically vertical. You do not want any horizontal chunks taken out of your hair. You want the point of the scissors to be facing the floor the entire time, and really, really gently, barely even closing the scissors. I'm more or less just kind of dragging the scissors along my hair, and it's doing all the work for me. I do have a full-length video on this that goes into a lot more details, like how I would do this from scratch if I didn't already have it, because as I say, I am just kind of going over what's already there. But yeah, if you want to check that out, have a little look. And then now I'm going to be moving on to the layers at the back of my head. Full disclosure, I already had layers at the back of my head, so again, I'm kind of just going over what's already there, so I didn't need to be too precise. So what I'm just doing at the back of my head, I'm splitting my hair into 3 sections from my crown. I'm splitting it off kind of in like a pizza, like a slice of pizza formation, so a triangle from the crown of my head down to my neck, getting wider, and then I've got the 2 sections either side. And I'm pulling up that middle section first of all. Unfortunately you can't see, I didn't know, but I pull it up, I comb it so that it's all completely even and uniform. Any hair that falls out at the back is fine because I just want these to be surface level layers. And then I'm pulling it up with my fingers, and again I'm tilting my fingers when I get to the top of my head so that the point of my fingers are facing downwards, and that's going to give me a really, really soft angle for my layers. So you can see I'm just point cutting into that just to make the line even less harsh. But I hope you can see there when it lands, it's all staggered in length, so you're not going to have any harsh lines at all. It should be a really, really soft finish. And then yeah, again I'm just going in with this side section. So I'm combing it all up. These are really thick sections of hair. If I didn't have any layers, I would probably do 6 sections instead of 3. Yeah, and that would just make it a lot more detailed. If this was my first time doing layers, I probably would do 6 sections as well, just because it's a bit easier to control. Like, I'm having a hard time here trying to comb up this much hair in one go. It's all falling out. It's a bit difficult. Length of my hair has just fallen, like the longest points of my hair have just fallen down, which I'm fine with. Because then I know that I'm not cutting off too much from the ends of my hair, so I'll still have that thickness. Then I'm just point cutting the layers again. If you want me to do a more detailed tutorial on just how you would do the layers and like really break it down and go into it, I can do that. Here I feel like you can see the angle that I'm talking about. It's kind of like all of the points of hair, I'm cutting the shortest part at the crown, and then I'm slowly cutting less and less as it gets towards the ends of my hair. because of course I want the layers right on the top of my head, near, like coming out of the crown of my head. I want those to be the shortest layers, and then I want the rest to be longer and longer and blend into the ends of my hair. And what I didn't show on camera is the whole time while I'm doing this, I'm like constantly checking the lengths of the hair against each other. So when I finished cutting the back section, just when I was just doing my straight cut, I was like taking little pieces and bringing them to the front of my face just to check that it was all even. And I'd recommend doing that the whole way through, because if you get to the end and then you try and check it and it's wrong, you're gonna have to start again. So just keep checking it, taking parts from the same place on your head, and then just comparing them against each other and making sure that they're all the same length. And then yeah, that is what I did. And then I've just blow dried it. I've got a video coming soon of how I achieved the blow dry, so I'll upload that as well. But yeah, this is how it turned out. I literally love it. It's so much nicer than I actually thought it could be. Like, I'm in love with my hair. I couldn't stop looking at myself. So I really hope that was helpful. I hope that I explained everything. Like I say, if there is anything that I didn't explain well enough or that you don't understand, just leave me a comment and I'll reply to it. But yeah, that is it. It would really help me a lot if you would like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.